this is Stacy Higginbotham for GigaOM, and I'm sitting here with Collin Cole from Frog Design. He's going to talk to us about different user interfaces for mobile phones. Hi, Collin.
Hi.
Well, we're glad to have you here today, and basically I just wanted to get you to show me kind of how mobile phones have evolved through the years, and then get you to talk to me about kind of touch, motion, and voice as possible ways we're going to interact with our phones in the future.
Sure. Well, it's interesting to look back. This is my first mobile phone back in the early 90s of Motorola StarTAC, and it's huge. It's a big brick, and when you compare that to some of the small phones that you see today, it's great to see how far we've come. In the early days, the focus was all about form, about how can we make this smaller and thinner, when you look at phones today, it's much more about the software and the services that you can provide on the device.
So how are we going to how do we find things? How do we get to things on the phone now that they're mostly software based?
Yeah, so the challenge has been of, if the device were still this big, it might be easier. You couldn't carry it around, but we can pack so much technology, so much functionality into these small handsets, small devices today, that it's really created some usability challenges of how do I navigate, how do I find things, how do I use this for all the things that it can do. So what you're seeing today is a lot of experimentation in different input methods. You're seeing full keyboards, slide-out keyboards, touch screens, gesture interfaces, voice interfaces, as a way to try and solve some of that complexity in devices today.
And which would you say is most kind of accepted and dominant right now?
Well, I think we're still a little bit back on this type of model where there are discrete buttons, there are physical keyboards. The newer products that you're seeing, of course, driven by Apple's iPhone, and now a lot of the newer devices are incorporating touch. And touch is still a bit in its experimentation stage. It's great for quick navigation, thumbing through things on the device, for detailed interactions and dense information screens. It might not be the best input method, but it's a great way to try and simplify some of the complexity in the devices today.
Okay, and you have actually the HP touchscreen, which Frog helped design the software for. You want to show me a little kind of how touch helps with this?
Sure. This is the HP Touch Smart. It's a home computer aimed at the home consumer. Touch Smart is a UI shell that sits on top of Windows Vista to try and simplify some of the complexity that comes with today's PC. So you can see here, I've got a carousel of favorites, different applications that I might want to check daily, whether it be web pages, photos, notes, the weather, and this is a multi-touch device. I can add things to the carousel, I can take them away. And this is intended to be, rather than to sit down at my computer for a couple of hours in my bedroom or study, it's something that I can more passively and casually walk by, flip through, get information, and then go on about my business.
Okay, so touch is probably good for small spaces and for kind of quick navigation of complicated material.
Right.
Now what about gesture? You showed me the Nano, which has...
Sure. So this is, of course, the new iPod Nano. It's a great little device, packed with some cool technology, the accelerometer in there that lets you know which way you're orienting the device, rather than messing with the scroll wheel when I'm listening to music. I can simply shake it and change songs to the next song that I might want to hear. And again, that's something that interaction could be accomplished through the scroll wheel, the typical navigating through menus, but just understanding the context that people use these devices on the go when they're out. Just simple gestures like a shake is a great way to navigate without having to look at a menu.
And that doesn't require a lot of decision tree kind of, it's not a complicated amount of information on there, it's songs.
That's right.
So.
It's simple interaction, made simpler by just some creative thinking about it, a new way to navigate.
Okay, and then we don't have anything to show you guys for voice, so we're just going to kind of talk about where voice is on handsets and what it might be used for.
Right, so it's a little bit scary when I drive down the highway and see people texting while they're driving on the freeway. Voice is I think going to be one of the next big things for navigation. That we're already looking at how we can integrate voice with email and text messaging to have integrated messaging, and voice as a navigation tool, as just a very natural way to communicate with each other, is a very powerful navigation tool.
Will phones of the future have all of these different UIs and for varying different kind of aspects of getting through the phone?
I think that you will see a combination, but as I said, we're in that experimentation stage. It's still trying to find what these input methods are best used for, and that's a fun time to be a designer, because we're solving problems of how to deal with complexity on consumer devices, and the technologies have advanced to a point where we have all of those tools at our disposal as designers.